Happy New Year. Like, hello 2024, goodbye 2023. I am so excited that you have joined us for this 5-week challenge to properly prepare for the more that God has for you in 2024. Now, before we get started, if you see me looking down, it's because that's where my notes are. I have some things that I want to share with you, but I don't want to forget. So, now that we have that out the way, let's jump into it. Week 1, the theme is rest and reflect. Why? Because when you rest, it allows you to take a step back from the busyness of life and to check in with the person that is doing life. This week is all about YOU. Yes, your family is important. Yes, your job is important, but you can't do any of those things if you are not your best self. So that's why this week we're going to jump into resting and reflecting. Now, before we do that, I want to remind you of this simple fact. Who you are is not the same as what you do. I know that culture and society can make us to think that they are one and the same, but they are not. And you know why they have to be separate? It's because if you get caught up in thinking that what you do is a reflection of who you are, you'll begin to bring value and worth from the things that you do and not the person that God created you to be. So, let me remind you who God says that you are. He says that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. He says that you are the head and not the tail. He says that you are his beloved child in whom he is well pleased. Woo! I don't know about you guys, but that just brings me so much joy to know that God created me in his image and likeness, and that he has a plan for me despite my mistakes, despite the challenges in life, despite what may or may not happen in the year ahead. So let's start off fresh with resting and reflecting. Your assignment for this week, you have 2 things to do. One is to rest. Now, you're probably like, this girl is crazy because it's the first week of the new year. I gotta start hitting these goals. I gotta get into the gym. I gotta do this and do that. Pause. I need you to do one thing, just one thing, that brings you rest. If you're an active person, maybe that looks like a bike ride or a yoga class. Maybe that looks like a mani-pedi or a massage. Whatever that thing is that you can do to take a step back from the world around you and check in to the person inside you, do that. And number 2, the second thing that I want you to do this week is to reflect. I want you to think back on what happened last year. And I want you to think back on who you became last year. I want you to think about what brought you joy. What are you thankful for? I've written a few questions to help you get started, but reflection is very much a personal thing. So use the questions, but feel free to lean into how God is drawing you, what God wants you to reflect on and to think on from the previous year. And last, if you are a business owner, this reflection is definitely something you should be doing also in your business. You should be looking back on your revenue. You should be looking back on your expenses. You should be looking back on your employees and all the things that happened in your business. If you need help getting started, let me know. I'll be happy to share some tips with you on how to look at the year before. Last but not least, you have until Sunday evening to do these 2 things. Yes, I'm giving you 7 days to do 2 things, to rest and to reflect. I hope to see you back for week 2 on next Monday. And if you're watching this video, but you have not joined the challenge, go ahead and visit my website. I'll drop the link in the comments so you can get ready for all that God has for you in 2024. See you guys later.